Nigel Farage is the leader of the UK Reform Party, and he joins us now from beautiful England, where there's much to discuss because there's some weird stuff going on with the new Prime Minister. Nigel, lovely to see you, mate.
Thank you.
All right, so what's going on here where there's all sorts of freebies and gifts and things that are starting to bring the air of stink around a brand new government, and everyone knows that new car smell never lasts as long as everyone wanted?
Well, that's right. And I mean, in opposition, Keir Starmer was very much the art holier than thou. We get into government, it's all going to be different. The culture of entitlement will be gone. And we discover that not only has he been staying in a luxury, 18 million quid's worth penthouse, but when he declares the gift from Lord Ali, he massively underestimates the value of it. And then bit by bit, we learn that not only does he get a box at Arsenal Football Club, which, by the way, I don't begrudge him that, I really don't, but he's had a whole load of suits and even glasses paid for by a donor. Now, this does not look like, the puritanical Keir Starmer. It looks like someone on the take. And the one thing the British public can't stand is hypocrisy.
Well, not to mention, again, the sanctimony that he displayed in concert with the media about everything to do with Boris Johnson. Yet, of course, one of the reasons why it went the way that it went, despite the fact that their numbers didn't really go up that high, it was about the collapse of the Conservatives, as we know, is that there was an expectation of something else. And if there's more of the same, that's good for people who would like to change the system like your good self.
Well, it is. And, can you believe it? I don't know what you think of these, but I bought them myself. It's amazing.
Me too. All right, there you go. That's the quickest look you'll get on camera. Honestly, we've got a Labour Party, and we're only a couple of months in, whose popularity and support is collapsing already. We've got a Conservative Party up at their conference in Birmingham in the Midlands, who are constantly at war with each other and split. Reform are now the challengers. We're lying very firmly in third place. Let's see what happens. But I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see very big change. Yeah, as we see right now, I think it's 4 people that are going to be going for Conservative leadership. Now, of course, they're not just going to be trying to look this way on the government. They're going to be looking this way at what you've been able to build with literally millions of people. And depending on what the voting system is in 5 years' time, you're going to be powering there. So give us an idea about the fundamental splits inside the Conservative Party that are going to mean it's always going to be fighting with itself.
Well, absolutely, because we have the old style, sort of rather stuffy, upper middle class type of Conservative who, frankly, doesn't believe in anything very much other than the right to govern. Then you've got a more radical wing, which believes that we shouldn't have any foreign courts telling us what we can do, that we should control our borders, that we shouldn't let the big corporate companies, take over and dominate our lives completely to the detriment of all the men and women running their own businesses. And they're the two wings of the party. But there's no doubt that in Westminster, it's the old school Conservatives that hold the balance of power. And what they're not seeing is what's happened to the Conservative movement in Australia with Donald Trump. What they're not seeing is what happened in Austria at the weekend, where a party to the right of the old Conservatives won the elections. Modern day conservatism means you have to get blue-collar and working-class votes. It's something, actually, that John Howard in Australia was really a pioneer of, over 2 decades ago. So I'm not sure that this current Conservative Party is even capable of sorting itself out. And everyone says to me, well, Nigel, surely you're going to do a deal with them. I'm not doing a deal with them. No. I don't trust them. My job is to replace them. Now, historians will say you'll never be able to do it. Do you know what? Historians told me, Paul, we'd never leave the European Union. I kept going, and we did. Well,
but also, any political movement that has clarity of purpose, all right, from the left, from the right, from the centre, whatever, right,
they will end up getting there in the end because everyone signs up to the same mission with the same purpose. But instead, what has previously existed is that you've got, certainly these sort of two teams that take turns taking power, who really are focused on the game of power, and their backbench MPs end up being sort of political cannon fodder, having to explain back to the rest of the country the decisions that aren't really about them. Again, as you say, exactly what's happening with Trump. And you'd love to see a vote in the Parliament as well about whether or not the UK should keep funding its bit of the World Health Organization.
Well, you should be having this debate in Australia as well. The World Health Organization had a summit a few months ago trying to get more power for themselves. Didn't really achieve it. So they've used the United Nations General Assembly to do it. And basically, we're giving this bloke who runs the World Health Organization, who is there, by the way, only because of Chinese backing, we're effectively giving him the power to tell us when the next pandemic is and whether we should lock down. Now, these should be countries' decisions or state decisions, not something made by a global organisation that now seeks to expand its base, massively increase its budget. It's yet another typical example of creeping globalism, where we, the voters, through our governments, give power away to unelected bodies on the world stage.